Video 10. Lifting state up. We have a single objective in this video. We want the board to control the value of all 9 squares, which we will achieve by lifting state up. We already have the basic building blocks for our tic-tac-toe game. To have a complete game, we now need to alternate placing X's and O's on the board. And we need a way to determine a winner. Currently, each square component maintains the game's state. To check for a winner, we'll maintain the value of each of the 9 squares in one location. We can accomplish this by storing the game's state in the parent board component instead of in each square. The board component can then tell each square what to display by passing a prop. Just like we did when we passed an index number to each square. To collect data from multiple children, or to have 2 child components communicate with each other, you need to declare the shared state in their parent component instead. The parent component can pass the state back down to the children by using props. This keeps the child components in sync with each other and with the parent component. Lifting state into a parent component is common when React components are refactored. The parent board component should keep a record of the state of all 9 squares. As an array of elements which are either X or O or null. We will call this state array variable squares. We will use the useState hook to manage the state of the squares array. We now need to define what the initial square's state should be. The initial squares should be an array of 9 null values, corresponding to the starting state of a tic-tac-toe game. Currently, each square remembers its own state value, and the value is set by a click event. Now, the state of each square is remembered in the board's squares array. And the value of each element in the array can be passed as props from the board to the square. There is no longer a need for each square to remember its own value. We will start by removing the state variable value from the square. The square will now get its value from props, so let's put props as the square function component's input argument. And now we can get the value from props. We no longer have the setValue function, so we will remove it from the onClick handler. We will temporarily have the handler do nothing. Inside our board component, we will need to pass the squares array, at index, I value down to the square. Not just the index, I. As it does currently. Each square will now receive a value prop that will be either an X or an O. Or, it will be null for empty squares. We can demonstrate this by passing some non-null values in the initial squares array. Save the file and see the effect in the browser. We will now undo the changes to the initial squares array. To summarize, we explained lifting up state to a parent component when it is necessary, and demonstrated lifting up state from the square to the board component. In the next video, we will look at how to make the board component aware of when a child square has been clicked.